Hi, how are you? Apparently, I am just too high up right here. Oh, hold on. I forgot I was using a different camera. Okay. So, how are you guys doing today? Excuse me. I'm just trying to make sure that it's actually. Goodness gracious. What is going on with my voice here? I don't know. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that it's actually. Goodness gracious. What's going on with my voice here? I don't know. Oops. So how are you guys today? I have been, yeah, I'm debating still. I do have the, I do have the ability to go back to work. Well, I'm supposed to go back to work actually. I'm supposed to go back to work, and I think I'm talking to myself, but that's okay. Hi. I wanted to show you guys some stuff, but nobody's here. So that's okay. Hey, Miss Andrea, how are you? I am up early on purpose because this is what time I do my live. I always try to do it before David gets home from work on Saturdays, but every single live that I've done so far, and I think this is like my 7th one, he has been home. So what's the point? Today's the first day that he's actually not. He's actually working right now, so that's good. But yeah, I had done it at this time on purpose because I thought, golly, my hair is frizzy. It's drying out really frizzy. That's okay. It's always frizzy. How are you? How's the move going? I know you are busy moving, but how's it going? My lips are so dry. Talking about being up early. What are you doing up early? I just thought about that. You're up early. I thought you were working until like 4 in the morning today. Or was that yesterday? Or I mean, the night before. I'm not sure. But how are you? I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever and a day. How you doing? Of course, I have my morning protein coffee. Today, this is the chocolate peanut butter from Chike. I'm up and it's usual, but I don't know why my circadian clock has me waking up at 10:18 every day. And yes, I worked. Ew. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not like you worked until 8 a.m. and then you're up at 10, which would be far worse. But let me see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're getting 6 hours. So at least there's that, which is, it's raining, wet, muggy outside. Barf. That's the kind of weather that I hate. And it's been like that here because we've been having a lot of storms. And I'm just like, no, thank you. That's kind of barful though. No, don't like it. And you already know I have to have my music playing today, like every day. But I always think that it's low enough that you guys can never hear it. But apparently you guys do. Apparently, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, wait, I don't know where the mic is. I think the mic is right here. Do you hear it? I am not okay. Today we are listening to Jelly Roll Radio on Spotify. But today is May 10th, which is Mexican Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the Mexicanas out here, which, I mean, I don't know how many of them there are. I know Nadia's Puerto Rican. Andrea, I know you are Cuban by marriage, right? I think it's Cuban by marriage. Oh, girl, I love Jelly Roll too. And I'm loving how he's on a health journey now. And he is come so far, so far since starting his health journey. And like I'm super, super excited for him, and I'm very, very happy. And I am following along because it's amazing. I mean, he was, I think he said 500 pounds or close to or over. I don't remember, but it's around 500 pounds, right? And he's already lost 100 and something, I think 150 pounds, which is amazing. I haven't looked it up in too long, so I don't know. Maybe it could even be more. I'm not sure. What's a Micanas? I gotta look that up. What's Micanas Day? Let's see. Micanas. So this says Micanas Day is likely referring to Mexican Independence Day. Don't tell me what it's likely. I want to know what it means. Mexican Independence Day is actually September 16th. Mexicanas. Oh, okay, Mexicanas Day. The one that always confuses me is Cinco de Mayo. Americans celebrate Cinco de Mayo, and I really don't know why. It was a single war that was won in this town of Pueblo in Mexico. But it was only fought there. And it is not Mexican Independence Day. Mexican Independence Day is on September 16th, which happens to be one of my brother's birthdays. So I always tell him, hey, that is your Independence Day. You're Mexican and you were born. You were freed from the womb. So it is truly your Independence Day. And he just laughs at me because we think it's funny. We both think it's funny. Otherwise, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it was funny. But I've always told him that since he was very, very little. What did you call Mother's Day for Mexican Mother's Day? Oh, I said Happy Mother's Day to all the Mexicanas. It's Feliz Dia de las Madres. I don't speak Spanish, so my Spanish is always off. But it's just Happy Mother's Day. It is in Mexico. It is celebrated on May 10th, and me being a second generation and being very, very close to my grandmother, who isn't, immigrated from Mexico, she would always tell us that, we're Mexican. We celebrate on the 10th, period. Okay. And there's a lot of times where they were very close together, like this weekend, where today's Mexican Mother's Day, the 10th, and tomorrow is American Mother's Day on the 11th. And it's okay. Let me try to. Good morning, Miss Felicia. Miss Felicia, are you a Mexicana? If you are, Happy Mother's Day. So my grandma my abuelita would always tell us, I'm Mexican. We celebrate on the 10th. We celebrate on Mexican Mother's Day. We're like, okay. So we would, do all the stuff on Mexican Mother's Day. And then American Mother's Day would roll around and she'd be like, well, I live here now. So we celebrate American Mother's Day too. She had a way of getting her way. Yes. Woohoo. So my Spanish is really bad, but Feliz Dia de las Madres. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know what is going on. I didn't take my allergy pills this morning, though. But my throat itches so bad. And I'm just like constantly clearing my throat. And I have my water. I should put it to some good use, huh? And then, of course, I have my morning iced coffee. This one is the Chike chocolate peanut butter. It's actually really good. I was running out of time, so I just made that real quick. But Felicia, do you guys celebrate today on the 10th, or do you celebrate on tomorrow? Which it varies in America. Like, whatever day it falls on. What is it? The second think it's the second Sunday of May is Mother's Day. But in Mexico, it is always celebrated on the 10th, period. It's allergies, all the pollen and dry, hot, rainy. I know it sucks. I don't speak Spanish either. Good, I'm glad. Glad I'm not alone. I mean, I'm not glad you don't speak Spanish. I wish we all spoke Spanish. But I spoke Spanish when I was little. Apparently not very well. But, you know, my grandparents don't speak English. My mom's parents don't speak English. My dad's parents speak very little English. That's because Mexicans are not going to try to confuse things, right? Mexicans are very to the point. Like whatever day it falls on, if it's a Tuesday, well, that's Mother's Day. But my grandparents spoke no English. Most of my aunts and uncles speak no English. My mother happens to be the very last child, and she learned English in school because she's born here. There's very few of them that were born here. But so we spent all our time with my abuelitos and, well, abuelitos, but we called them abuelita, abuelito. And I think I've said this story before where my dad's parents were our grandparents, our grandma and grandpa, and my mom's parents were abuelita, abuelito. He celebrated all weekend. Well, you're lucky that this weekend happens to be Mexican Mother's Day and American Mother's Day together, but they don't usually fall like that. Sometimes they're like a few days apart, sometimes a week apart. I speak a little, but my husband, who was born in Miami, but his mother doesn't hardly speak any English after being over 50 years here, so she has to speak it to her. But yeah, I speak English too. There are words where I do not know what they are in English. I have no idea what they are in English. And it's probably mostly because they probably don't have an English word. I mean, chancla has an English word. And remember last time we were trying to come up with the word chancla. But like asco, how do you say asco in English? I don't know. Oh, good morning, Miss Linda. Happy Mexican Mother's Day to you. Today is Mexican Mother's Day. But happy early American Mother's Day to you. So you guys know in my last video, I've been asking this for a while, but in my last video, I asked, who are you outside of being a mother? A lot of people, when they describe themselves, when you ask them, you know, like when you're introducing yourself to them, they say, oh, I'm a mother of blankety blank amount of kids. Or, you know, I'm a teacher. I'm a spouse. I'm a whatever, you know. And whatever those things are 9 times out of 10 titles that were given to us by something other than who we actually are. Yes, you're a mother. Yes, you're a wife. Yes, you're a daughter. Yes, you are a, you know, sister or an employee of something. But who really are you outside of that? You know, that's something like when people ask me, it's something I've always struggled with because I could never say mother. And I always thought mother was an identity, and it's not. But here's the thing. What happens when your kids grow up? Linda, I'm sure your kids are grown now. What happens when they grow up and move out? Who are you outside of that? I'm a pet mom. I have 6 fur kids. I'm not a mom to anybody or anything, not a living animal. But even if I was, that's not who I am. Who am I? That's a good question because I don't know. I often ask myself that, and I really can't answer it. I'm trying to be in tune with who I really am inside. And girl, I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you who I am. And that is something that I really am working through, because for me to not be able to say I'm a mother had always like hurt me to my core. But I'm not. And so who am I outside of that? I'm not a wife. I'm not a mother. I am a daughter. I am a sister. But those are just titles that were given to me because I was born. And then my brothers were born. So who am I? You know, my two brothers don't have any kids, so I'm not an aunt. I don't have any sisters, but you know, who am I? I don't know. But who are you? Who are you outside of that? You know, there's a reason that the Bible tells us that there's a hierarchy in your family, right? God is always first. God first. And then your spouse. And then your children. And then your parents. But people get confused and they will always put their children before their spouse. Not all people, of course, but many people. And the reason for me and my interpretation of why your spouse comes first is because eventually your children grow up and eventually your children get married and become spouses themselves. And then they become parents themselves. And then their hierarchy of how it goes changes. But eventually your children will come to a point where they're self-sufficient. They could take care of themselves, even if they're living under your roof. They don't any longer need you to feed them, change their diapers, do those kinds of things for them. You will always be there to worry about them, to, help them out if they need it. You will always want the best for them. You will always wish them well. You will always be overprotective of them. They will always be your baby, but they are not always going to be a baby. So what happens when they move out? What happens when you no longer are a mother to a small child and you no longer have that responsibility on you or on your heart, and suddenly it's you and your spouse? Then what? Then what? Many spouses barely even know each other outside of mom and dad. And I know, Linda, you are very different. You and your husband know each other very well. And I think, are you an empty nester? This is something my mom is going through right now. And I think this is why I've been asking myself this question so often. Not because I don't have anybody to empty nest me, but my mom is going through this right now with my little brother moving out. And now she has no children in the house. My mom is, a mother of 3. Her husband is a father of 4. And he was a single father who raised his kids. He raised 3 of his kids. His other child was raised by her mom. So 3 of his kids are one mom. One of his kids is another mom. And so he raised the 3 from the same mom. He raised them by himself. So when my mom came into their lives, the little one was still like 6 years old. And then the other ones were bigger. So not that much bigger though. They were like 10, 12 maybe. And so but her kids were already grown except for my little brother who was 6. And then me and my other brother were already, 25, 26. And so she still had my littlest brother. And then suddenly he's no longer there. He's here in Dallas, working towards becoming a flight attendant. He was going to school to be a doctor, and he got his bachelor's degree, and he was working on his master's and his doctorate together. He wanted to work for the CDC. He wanted to work in epidemiology. And this is really weird because he's always wanted to do that since he was very, very young. A movie had came out called Contagion, I think it's called. And he fell in love with the idea of epidemics, right? So he wanted to work for the CDC or the WHO or something. And then suddenly his senior year of high school, COVID came. And he had firsthand experience of what it was like. He didn't get to walk the line. He didn't get to, go to prom or do any of those things that most high school seniors get to do. I'm a fun-loving, energetic go-getter, driven focus on goals. I am a loyal person, understanding and patient and forgiving. See, Linda, you know who you are. And that's amazing because I don't know who I am. And what makes it worse for me is I don't know who I am, and I am not a wife or a mother, and I've never been either of those things ever, and I don't know who I am. I think I might have been able to tell you who I was prior to 2020, but 2020 came along and it really messed me up, and the year itself didn't mess me up. It's just that year happened to mark a lot of things that happened in my life. And suddenly I lost interest in anything, anything and everything that once made me feel like I knew who I was, and I kind of felt dead inside. And it is not until recently that I'm feeling different than I did then. It took a very long time and a lot of work. And, you guys know that I was in an outpatient program twice. And those things really, really, really like helped me to get out of like the worst of it. But it didn't take anything away, like I was still kind of lost. And I still kind of am, and it's like, I don't know. Who am I? Who am I? But Linda, I love that you can say who you are and excuse me, say it confidently and truly know that you are telling the truth, and you are a mother, and you are a spouse, and you are a daughter, and you are a friend and an amazing person, but you are also fun-loving, energetic, go-getter, driven, focused on your goals. You're also loyal, understanding, patient, forgiving. That's amazing. It's very amazing. So you guys, I decided I wanted to try to make something to eat. I have a aunt who has since passed, but she used to make a Jello, right? And it was Jello, and it had, I think it had peaches in it. And it was made with cottage cheese and almonds, and I don't remember what else. But I decided I wanted to make something similar, but I didn't want to use so much stuff. And so I used one package of the Jello brown Jello because that's what I had in cherry flavor. I had like half a cup of pineapple, what is it, chunks, shreds, like, when it's shredded, not the chunks, but the whatevers. I had that in the fridge, and I had Greek yogurt. So I boiled a cup of water, and I, blended the crap out of my Jello powder. And then once it cooled down, because I didn't want it to curdle the yogurt, I added a cup of Greek yogurt, and then I added the half cup of pineapple, mixed it all together. And then that batch, I know with this ring on it, you can't tell, but it goes up to the very, very bottom ring here. It made 3 of these cups to go here. So altogether, it's 82 calories. But I added a couple of blackberries today because I forgot I had bought blackberries, and they are about to no longer be edible. So I needed to do something with them. So I threw them on top. But let me tell you, look at how fluffy watch, just the Jello by itself. Look at how it turned out. That's the Jello with just Greek yogurt. And it has 12 grams of protein because of the Greek yogurt. And it has a couple carbs because of the Jello, but that's very good. Yes, you could still, if you don't like Greek yogurt, you might want to try it this way because it's not a super strong, like, how Greek yogurt is very tart, and I love tart things, but I do not like Greek yogurt by itself. Not plain anyways, I don't like it, but this actually is really good. Next time I'll try it with some nuts to get in a little bit more protein. A chancla is sandal in Cuban also. Cubans speak Spanish, right? Pretty sure they speak Spanish. I'm an aunt and a grand aunt and a great aunt. What's a grand aunt? It's a difference between a grand and a great. Hubby and I are one another's everything. And I don't want to be anybody's everything. And I don't want one single person to be my everything. Because what happens when they're no longer here with us? Or I'm no longer here with us? What happens to them? Same here, Chica. I feel like a life wasted. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like that too. I feel like a woman's job is to be a mother, and I couldn't do that. So what am I without that? I don't know. I know nowadays, like this generation stuff, a lot of them don't want kids. So they wouldn't see it that way. But those of us who are older, that's just the way we grew up. We grew up understanding that women were to be mothers. If you couldn't be a mother, what were you doing? I just had bacon, eggs. Hubby cooked breakfast for me. Oh, how sweet. Thank you, Carlos. I have some delicious wild blackberries growing right outside here at the house. Yum. I have a mulberry tree in my backyard, and it drops. I've never had mulberries before. I didn't even know what they were. I had to look them up because I'd never seen them before. And when I read it, I was like, hey, doesn't Dr. Seuss talk about this? Isn't this like from Morton Here's a Who? Like, I didn't know what it was. I have lived my life in the beginning, raising and being there for my daughter, husband, parents, and grandsons. I put everyone's needs before mine in those younger years. I completely understand, because a lot of people do that. And I think that's the point. Like, a lot of us are getting to the age where, who are we now? I'm not a mother, but many of you guys are. And I don't want them to be in the position that I'm in. But there's a suddenly their kids are all grown up and moved out. And now who are they? Nobody knows. My husband would tell me to take a break and go do me, spend the weekend at the ocean front and just, oh, how sweet. Linda, what's your husband's name? I'm just being nosy and I want to add him to my prayer journal. I know Andrea's husband's name. Felicia, what's your husband's name? I don't know his name either. You guys don't have to tell me, but I would love to know so I can add it to my prayer journal. He has been my biggest supporter of who I am today. That's amazing. You're very, very lucky, Michael. Dude, shut up. That is so funny. My mom's name is Linda, which I tell you all the time, and her husband's name is Michael. That is so funny. Grand is second generation, and when those kids have... Oh, so that makes sense. That's how your grandmother becomes grandmother. Vicente, like Vicente Fernandez. Or is it Vincent? Like white guy friends. Can't even say that. David's stepdad, his name is Vincent too. Vince. Yeah, we call him Vince, but his name is Vincent. My husband always says he puts me above our kids and reminds me to never lose myself in motherhood or sisterhood or my career. And this is true. He's a very smart man. He's a very smart man. And a lot of people will get upset when you say your husband or your wife should come before your children. Of course, we do not mean when your children are infants or babies who cannot fend for themselves. Of course, their needs need to come before anybody else's needs except your own, because if you are not able to do for them, what's going to happen? But when that small part of their journey is over and they no longer need you in that way, then what? And even during that time, you should still be trying to work on your marriage and be a supportive spouse. That's neat. It is neat, right? Like, it's so funny because my mom's husband and my older brother have the same birthday. Then my mom and David have the same birthday. And then Michael's mom has the same birthday as my mom. So Michael's mom, I forgot her name. I don't remember her name. Whatever her name is. My mom, and David all share the same birthday. I put everyone in front of myself. Yeah, I do too. I'm one of those people who my needs always come last, always, no matter what. And I'm learning about like the full cup theory, or not the full cup, but the empty cup theory. Hey, Miss Alonda, how are you? Hopping in for a few minutes. Well, you came at the perfect time because we are asking, who are you? Who is Alonda outside of a mother of 6, a teacher, a friend, a daughter, a co-parent? Who is Alonda? Because I don't know who Delilah is. And Delilah is not even a parent or a wife and has never been either of those things. But let me just tell you what Miss Linda is. Maybe this will give you some inspiration. Where is it? Miss Linda is fun-loving, energetic, go-getter, driven focus on her goals, loyal, understanding, patient, and forgiving. And I think that is amazing and beautiful. And I'm so proud of her for knowing who she is. I wish I could share what I have going on here in my lap. One of my cats is here giving me, aw, see, our pets know, but they can be buttholes too. Especially cats. Cats are vicious. They only want you when they want you. So, I don't know. I love that Felicia's husband is always encouraging her to not get lost in being a mother or a sister or her career, and to remind, excuse me, and reminds her to always, figure out who she is. And that's just me putting in words in her mouth because she didn't say that, but I believe that's what she meant. You guys, remember I've been complaining about this rash? Look at, you see that right here and right here? I know they look like hickeys, right? They're not. And I have a bruise right here too. They're not. It's from me at night I itch so bad at night that I'm just scratching and scratching and scratching. And I've caused these things. And I have been so red and swollen for so many days already. Finally, I said, you know what? I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if any of you guys were watching. I know Andrea was watching me then, but before I got my hysterectomy, I was scratching and scratching. The back of my head itched so bad that I would draw blood because I couldn't stop scratching. And I seen the dermatologist when I was finding out about why all my hair is falling out and about the hormonal acne. And so when I went to go for my follow-up, I asked her about my head. Why is it, because I do have eczema. So I thought maybe I was having like an eczema outbreak on the back of my scalp and I couldn't see it because of my hair. And she told me no, that it was, I forgot what it's called, but basically your nerves will lose their flipping mind and they don't know what to do when you're under a certain amount of stress. And it itches because it doesn't know what else to do because your brain gets confused on what's really happening. And that, I think like 2 days ago, yesterday. So today's the second day. Yesterday, I thought to myself, wait a minute, I still have this medicine that she gave me. She gave me this, you can take it like when you buy it, it is actually to be taken orally for anxiety, right? But she prescribed it to me to apply to the back of my head so that it would put the nerves to sleep, right? So that they weren't itching. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, could I use that on my neck? Why not? The same thing. It was on the back of my head and the back of my neck. So I put it on the front and look how much the swelling has gone down. Now I just have the bruising, the little bit of bruising that I caused myself, but it was red and swollen. It looked like a Y neck. You guys remember the Y necklaces? It looked like a Y necklace because it was swollen and red from all of the scratching and itching. But David's like, what happened? he knows I ain't doing nothing with nobody else, but I was like, I said, it's from the scratching. I can't, I'm itching so bad all day, every day. And in the morning, I could kind of sort of, or in the daytime, I could kind of sort of control it. So instead of scratching, I'm like kind of eating it. But at night, I can't control it. I'm asleep and I'm just scratching in my sleep. And it's not just up here. It's also like on the sides. And I ended up getting an infection right here because of how much I was scratching on my breast. Oh, it was horrible. I have a spot in the back of my head that always itches. I know you can't see a dermatologist, dang it. But that stuff really works. Hey, good morning, Diva. How are you? Don't you have a live today? Aren't you doing a live this morning? So, Ms. Diva, we are asking, who are you outside of being a mother? Who are you outside of being, well, you're not a wife, but who are you outside of being a daughter? It's outside of, do you have siblings? I don't even know. Yep, many of my friends are now empty nesters and they are starting their journey to self-discovery. I am starting now since the weight loss is showing me different versions of myself. That's amazing, Alonda. See, what triggered it all in my head was I have always struggled with not being a mother. I'm not a mom, so that's never been part of my identity. But I am a daughter. I've never been a wife, so it's never been part of my identity. David is the first partner who I've ever considered like an actual partner. You know, like I've had boyfriends. I've had even long-term boyfriends. Like my longest boyfriend besides David was 8 years, and I never considered him a partner. He was my boyfriend, you know? And so I've always kind of felt like I don't have that part of the identity. So who am I? I don't know. And my mother is going through becoming an empty nester right now. And how old am I? I'm 43 and she's 15 years older than me. So she's 59. My mom's 59. And she is going through being an empty nester. My brother has fully moved out. Well, he still has his room there. We are hoping that he can transfer airlines soon. And then he'll only have to be away for 1 to 2 weeks a month, and then he could come home. But even if he's not, doesn't matter. She's dealing with being an empty nester, and she started figuring like she's a mom, she's a daughter, but both of her parents have now passed. But who is she outside of being a mom? And she's been a mom. I'm the oldest, so for 42. No, I'm not 42. I'm a liar. I'm 43. I'm gonna be 44 already. So who is she outside of being that? And I'm like, and it all started because I asked her, like, what are you doing with yourself? And she's like, I'm dying. I was like, no, you're not. Who are you? And so now she's figuring out who she is. And I thought to myself, I'm this close to her age, so I don't want to be that too. I have eczema too. And I remember getting my hair shaved down to a buzz cut in the 70s. Eczema is awful. I am proud to say no more outbreaks. Wow. In over 25 years, it's amazing. Because you do, you understand, Linda, you really do scratch in your sleep. You can't control it because you're asleep. You wake up and you'll have dry blood under your nails sometimes because of how much your clothes will have be stuck to you because of the dry blood. Oh, it's terrible. I hate it. Yes, you do have siblings. Awesome. How many siblings you got? I'm just being nosy right now, but oozing, bleeding, and crusting all over. All my clothes used to have. Yeah, exactly. See, I didn't even get to that comment yet, but yes, it's true. My face has been inflamed with eczema flare-ups with all the stress of this packing. Yes, stress is a biatch. There's different kinds of eczema, and I have 2 different kinds. One of them is stress-induced. So I get like these, like kind of like blisters on my fingers and toes. When I'm really, really stressed out, but I haven't gotten them. Praise God. I have not gotten them. I haven't gotten them, I would say, in about a year. Alonda is a strong-minded woman who seeks simple joys in life through tapping into her spirit. Yes, Alonda, I love that. I love that. Oh, yes, you're going to make me cry. Miss Felicia, oh my goodness, Linda, I'm so happy for you. I haven't had a flare-up. Yes, because having flare-ups sucks so bad, and I'm so glad, Miss Linda. So glad. You're an awesome, beautiful lady, wealth of personal knowledge who is giving, loving, sharing, and you're an awesome friend. Oh, Miss Andrea, thank you. One day I'll believe that for myself. We do this activity in class, and throughout the summer, we cluster lines until the end of the semester. We then take a look at our likes, example, reading, drawing, rapping. Sounds like a very interesting thing that I'm going to need to do. Oh, man. You guys, I need new pencils. All my pencils are missing because I want to write this down. Mine always said mom, daughter, teacher, sorority, sister, etc. This year it looks so different, and I'm so proud of that. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Alonda, you are making my heart just want to explode right now. I'm so proud of you. It is very hard to learn about who you are at this stage of life, but I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I pick my face, but thankfully I don't bleed much. Girl, picking my face. I used to do that too all the time. I wish you were closer. I would give you this medicine. I know it'd be illegal, but I don't care. I didn't say that. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. I would never do such a thing. FDA, who might be listening, I would never, ever do such a thing. My prescription medications are for me and me alone. Never, ever for anybody else. Even if they don't have a way to get their own. Never for anyone else. Okay, remember that. Remember that. You guys, this Jell-O is actually really good. You guys should make it. 1 cup of boiling hot water, I'm going to tell you again, into your sugar-free Jell-O mix or whatever kind of Jell-O you use. If you want to use non-sugar-free, go ahead, but I use sugar-free. And then mix it together until there's no granules, until it's all dissolved into the water. Then let it cool. No, don't let it set, but let it cool completely so that you don't curdle your Greek yogurt. Then a cup of Greek yogurt, whatever kind you want. I used full fat, and it has the live cultures in them, right? So then I mix that together, and then I put in half a cup of pineapple. You can put whatever you want. You don't have to put anything else even, but I had it. I needed to use it, so I did, and I threw it in. Plus, I thought you needed to have a little bit of texture in it. And then I mixed that all together. I split it between these 3 cups. I went up to this line on the 3 cups, and now I have 3 servings of it, and I will be making it again with different flavors. Oh, and then I had some blackberries this morning that I threw in because I didn't want them to go bad, and they were getting really close to going bad. I think we're all too busy looking at other people and never really looking at ourselves to see who we are and how much we need to be kind to ourselves before others. I think that's very true. I don't think you're the only one who does that. I've been there, done that. My mom used to give me all her medicine all the time. We don't do that. We do not share medicines. Okay, FDA? We know it's illegal. We don't do such a thing. Never. Never. Never, ever. But you guys, look, I'm not scratching and it doesn't itch. It really doesn't. And I'm like, yes. And I don't know how long I'm going to have to use that medicine, but I do have some more refills that I can go get just in case. But I still have like at least half a bottle, but I have the scarring to prove that it's been going on. But look, I'm not itching. And this swelling, remember, I don't know if you guys noticed, but right here, it had been swollen and red for like, maybe 2 months already. And I kept thinking it was a rosacea outbreak right here on my chest. But then I'm like, how is that possible? You don't get rosacea anywhere but on your face. It could go down like a bit into your neck, but that's it. It doesn't go down your neck. I am a woman who leads with love and joy. Life has thrown me curveballs, but I give it to God and it works out. I'm thankful, grateful, and blessed. Being the best me is my first priority. And I'm so excited to hear that from you, Miss Dee Dee. I love that. That is awesome. Then I am able to be the best mommy, which is true. That is very amazing. And I know that if that is something that you've discovered within yourself, you are teaching that to your daughter so that when she one day becomes a mother, or if she doesn't, she'll also know that women's only jobs in life are not to be a mother, and you are not a waste of life if you are unable to produce a child or don't want to. Because trust me, it's hard. It's hard to have grown up in our generation and believe that's all women should do or be or strive to, and be unable to do that is very, very difficult. I'm so proud of you. That is so awesome. That is so amazing. And it's funny because I always say too that I'm thankful, grateful, and blessed. I don't ever say it in that order. Maybe I have said it in that order, but it's true. I am working very, very, very hard to be a grateful person. I never understood that. I always thought I was a thankful person. Like I'm always very understanding that I have a lot more than I should. And I'm thankful for the people in my life, and I'm thankful for my abilities to provide for myself and, you know, all of these things. And I'm very, very thankful for my mother who survived what she survived, you know, my brothers and the experiences that they've taught me. And I never understood that being thankful and being grateful are very connected, and you really can't be one without the other. And I never understood that. And now I'm learning that, and I am trying to implement the gratefulness. And I try very, very hard to focus on what I'm grateful for. Although I don't always succeed, I try very hard to even be grateful for, you know, the tribulations that we have to go through, the struggles that I have dealt with. I cannot explain to you guys. If you guys were watching back then when I was, you would see me in my videos. I would be yellow. My eyes were sunken in, like they were. And I don't have dark circle eyes. I never really have. I'm still recovering from it, so they're still coming back. But my eye socket was sunken in, brown, and I was yellow, turning green. I had very little physical energy. I looked like I was feeling on the inside. I looked like I was dying. I really did. And I felt that way. And my numbers were showing that that's what was happening to me. And I was miserable while it was happening. Absolutely miserable. But I am so grateful for that experience because it taught me something. It taught me that I don't want to be silent about this anymore. I'm 43. I've had my period since I was 9 years old, and I didn't know that the kind of period that I have wasn't normal. I didn't understand that the pain that I had, where I could barely walk every month, I could barely function on my own every month for anywhere from 10 to 14 days every single month, sometimes more, and sometimes twice a month, sometimes for months on end. I didn't realize that wasn't, I knew it wasn't completely normal. Like not everybody was going to experience that, but I thought that it was normal for everyone. If that makes sense. Like there was always going to be someone that could happen to, and it was normal. Like it's normal for me because that's the way I've always been since I started my period when I was 9. And it's just a shame that all these years went by and all the doctors told me the same thing. It's normal. It'll calm down. It'll go away. It'll get better. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. But I always knew something was wrong, but I didn't understand it. I didn't understand how could I feel something's wrong? How could I think something's wrong? And all these doctors are telling me that there's not something wrong. If I wouldn't have gone through that last year, and on video too, because you guys were seeing it. If you were here, whoever was here was seeing what I was going through. I was losing blood clots, and I'm not even kidding, the size of my fist multiple times a day. The biggest one that I found intact was the size of my foot with no toes. The size of a foot. And when I say that, I mean it. It was the length of my foot and the width of my foot. And then it got smaller as it like came around. So it really looked like my foot with no toes. It was insane. And I was losing those every day. And in my head, I thought, this is normal. And I finally found an OB who was like, Delilah, this isn't normal. It's not normal. Just because it's your normal now, because you've been going through this for all these years, it's not normal. You shouldn't have to suffer like this anymore. And I was like, if I wouldn't have gone through that, if I wouldn't have had to get the blood transfusions and the iron transfusions multiple times, if I didn't have to go through those 2 surgeries, I wouldn't have understood just how truly abnormal it was. And I would have kept being quiet about it. Now I tell everybody, anybody who wants to listen to me, girl, that's not normal. Go get checked. Go to a doctor who actually listens. It's not normal. It is not normal. Get checked. Get checked for PCOS. Get checked for fibroids. Get checked for endometriosis, which I did not have, thank God. But there's also one that sounds like endometriosis, but it's with the A, adenomyosis, I think, or something like that. Which like the lining or the tissue grows on other organs or surrounding organs. And then when you have your hormonal changes for your month and you start getting your period, you start feeling the cramping in other body parts too. It's insane. Happy Mother's Day to you all. Most women, if not all, are mothers in some capacity. We are nurturing, kind, and caring. God made us that way. Yes, I do believe that God made us that way for a reason, and He fully intended for mothers to be that with their children. And I know, like I've said, today is Mexican Mother's Day. May 10th, whatever day it falls on, does not matter. The day of the week will always be the Mother's Day in Mexico. And so those of us who are very, very new in America, I guess. I mean, I'm not new. I've always been here my whole life, but I'm only a 2nd generation American. You know, my mom's only 59. I mean, that's not young, but you know what I mean. But I grew up with my grandmother who's from Mexico. And she always told us, you know, just because you guys were born here doesn't mean you're not Mexican. And I'm like, okay. But there comes a point where eventually, when am I, like, I will always be a Mexican American because I'm only 2nd generation, but I don't have kids. So if I had kids and they had kids and they had kids, eventually they would just become Americans, right? I mean, that's what I would think. I don't know. But anyways, so today is Mexican Mother's Day. Tomorrow is American Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. And I hope you enjoy your whole entire weekend. And I hope you guys are celebrating it all. I know Miss Felicia gets to celebrate today and tomorrow. So lucky girl. And David brought me a cake yesterday. And he said we were going to celebrate Mother's Day together. I said, okay. I grew up with painful periods from day one. First period I got when I was 12. Yes, and it's horrible. It's horrible, and I'm so sorry. But you're in menopause now, right, though? Or postmenopause? I was wearing all white jeans and was with my friend. You even remember her name? Carrie Hall, on our bikes hanging out at the local movie theater we had in the neighborhood. I do not miss getting. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, hey, Dr. Wolf Dimples, how are you, amiga? Wait. In Puerto Rico is not Mexico, but do you guys have Mother's Day on the 10th too? I never thought to look. Is it a Latino thing or a Hispanic thing, or is it strictly Mexico? I don't know. I knew what you meant when I knew that meant painful. I don't know. I have no idea, amiga, whether or not you guys celebrate on the same day, but if you do, no, we follow the USA. Okay. So happy Mother's Day tomorrow. But you should just say you're Mexican because today is our Mother's Day. Although I'm not a mother, I'm going to pretend. And I'm just going to be like, I'll take it no matter what we do, no matter where we go. I got this new lip gloss. It's called Strawberry Cheesecake from NYX. And I just wanted like something, but I feel like I'm too dark for this color. The first time I've ever opened it and used it, but my lips are so dry. I don't know what's going on. I have the driest mouth ever, like not just my lips, my tongue, everything is so dry. And I've had dry mouth for years and years and years, years and years and years. But I don't know. Right now, like my brother was going through this too because I picked him up on Thursday. He had off, and me and him went to go do his laundry. And his lips were real chapped too. And I told him, use some chapstick here in my purse. And he was like, I already have some on. No matter what I do, it just stays that way. Bye, Dee Dee. Have a great day. I'm so glad to know that you know who you are outside of being a mother. That's amazing. And so he said he's just been dealing with that, and his lips are just completely, and mine are the same right now. And I told him, I wonder why. He's like, do I need to go to the doctor? I was like, I don't know. If you think you need to go. I think we're both a little dehydrated, but I don't really know. And Carlos and I have Cuban nibblings and grand nibblings and great grand nibbling. Wow, that's a lot of babies. It was horrid. Of course, I remember. She was my first real bestie. Yeah, I remember too. I remember starting my period, and it was horrible, and nobody ever talked to me. I did not know what it was. I was like, what's this? But if I wouldn't have experienced that, I wouldn't have understood it, and which is really weird because I watched my mother go through it. I remember after she had my little brother, it was when all of her fibroids decided to go berserk, and she had to be hospitalized a few times, like literally overnight, couple nights. She was in the hospital a couple of days in a row, a few times because of how much blood she was losing. And eventually they told her, we have to stop giving you blood transfusions because you can't stop losing it. But yet they wouldn't give her a hysterectomy. They just did a DNC, sent her on her way, but it never stopped. And then she had to get a hysterectomy. And in those days, they did it abdominally. So she had to, she had all three of her kids naturally, but she has like a abdominal scarring, like a C-section. And I didn't understand that it was the same thing. I in my head, stuff like that was happening because she was a mother. She's had children. I'm not that. I had to call my dad to come pick me up with my bike. He put it in the trunk of his taxi cab because I was in so much pain and so much blood. I'm so sorry. It's horrible to have like these experiences, and it just comes out of nowhere, and men can never understand it. I was watching yesterday, I don't know, somebody sent me something, and you guys know I don't usually watch shorts because I freaking can't stand them. They trigger my anxiety. But my cousin sent me something. She's like, it's not fast paced. Just watch it. I said, okay. She's all, but it is vertical, which I also don't like. So I said, okay. So I'm watching this vertical video, and it's three guys who are washing dishes well hooked up to a period simulator, which really is just a TENS unit. And so they put the TENS unit around their abdomen, and somebody else is controlling it. So they're trying to wash dishes, and suddenly they get these, signals from the TENS unit, and they never go that high either. Because when I seen like the little thing, it said how many numbers they were going up, and I know my TENS unit goes up like number 50, and they were like going to like number 5 and stuff, and they're like falling over themselves. They're like, oh my God, like they're like in excruciating pain. It's like so funny. Like I'm cracking up. And then after that, another one that was similar got triggered. And that one was a guy who said, oh, this is the first time I've ever tried this experiment on a woman. And she was like, okay, and they put it on her, and she's just standing there. She's like eating something or like sucking on a lollipop or something. And she's just like, la-di-da. And he's showing like it went up to 50%. And then he like cuts to where it was showing him at 50%, where he was falling all over himself, and he was like practically in tears. And then they go back to her, and they show her at 60%. And she's like just chewing her gum or whatever she's doing, like nothing, right? Like nothing is happening. And he's like on top of a bush, like convulsing. And he's like, oh my gosh. And she gets to 100, and he's like, you don't feel it? She goes, yeah, I feel it, but it's it just feels like a bad day on your period, And he's like, what? I would have been passed out, my eyes rolling over in my head. Like, it was so funny to see. But it's true that men don't understand what it's truly like. They could kind of experience what the cramping feels like to an extent, but they don't get the whole experience because they're also not having diarrhea. They're not also having headaches and nausea. And, some of us get vomiting along with that nausea. They're not getting the swelling. They're not getting, the electrical shocks. Hey, I have arrived to our destination. Be blessed and not stressed. Enjoy the weekend. You as well. Happy Mother's Day again, Alonda. You enjoy your day with your babies and whoever and whatever else you're doing today. Thanks for joining us for as long as you have. We appreciate you. And, like they weren't getting all these other things. And I'm like, they can never really understand it, even if they can understand some of the pain that comes along with it. I was like, what they should have done? They should have had them feeling the like the cramping, right? But then they also should have had somebody like just throwing a bottle of water or popping a balloon of water, just coming out of you and hoping that it gets caught by whatever it is that you're using to catch it and not coming down you on top of that. And I'm like, must be really nice to be a man. I don't ever want to be one, but it must be really nice to be a man. I wish you guys were here so I could share this yummy jello with you. I'm like telling everybody, start thinking about what it is we're going to do when I come see you, because I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you and figure out what we're going to do. It is your job. I'm just kidding. It's not your job. I could look things up too. But, what are we going to do? I know Miss Mia's not here today right now anyways. But we got the idea of going pole dancing because we've seen a creator who lost 180 pounds, I want to say, with Mounjaro, I think it was Mounjaro. And, you saw that one too? Yeah, it was funny, right? And I was like, and he was in so much shock that this chick was like, what? You don't feel it? Like, you have no reactions? And it's not like she didn't say she didn't feel it. She was just like, this doesn't hurt, And, so there's this creator who lost all this weight. And now she's like doing things that she's never been able to do before. So pole dancing class with her sister was one of those things. And I just seen a video of hers pop up because I watched that video because Mia sent it to me. And I watched it and I was like, hey, that gave me the idea. Hey, we should do that. And that's what started our whole thing. Like, so when she's down 100 pounds, now I think she has like 98 pounds to go. And I have about 97 to go, that we will go pole dancing together. And so I saw that same creator, and poor girl, she had just lost her job. She quit her job. She was in another job for like, I don't know, 5 years or something. And she quit that job to get this new job because she thought they were going to cover her GLP-1s. And then they didn't. So, she was only there like 2 months, and she lost her job yesterday or the day before or a couple days ago. And she posted a video about it. And I was like, that is so sad. That is so sad. I don't want to be a man that complaining, cry too much. I don't ever want to be a man. Like, screw that. I was born a woman. Can't change it anyways. Excuse me. Even if I wanted to be a man, I can never experience what it's really like to be one. Because I'm not one. Just like a man could never experience what it's really like to be a woman. You might hear the stories, what it's like, and you might think you could experience that, but you don't. You don't know what it's like to suddenly one day wake up in the, or be doing nothing, being a kid, and suddenly you're thrown into puberty by way of starting your period. And I'm sure that there are people who don't have painful periods and it's not that much bleeding and it's not that much pain, it's not that much anything, and they're pretty okay. But I am not one of them. And many of us are not. Many of us have a lot of pain involved. I'm almost 50 and I still remember what it was like that first time, and overall, I know what my experience was like, but that first time, I don't know if I can ever forget it. I don't know. Maybe I can. Maybe one day I'll just be like, what's a period? And I still get shocked sometimes, you guys. Like, we are in May. So December, January, February, March, April. It's been 6 months since I've had a period. I had my surgery on the 4th of December. And I would say that the spotting stopped within 3 or 4 days. I can't remember now, but it was just a couple of days, right? But the bleeding stopped that day. That day, once it was out, it stopped. Because I even had to wear a pad to get my surgery. And we had to change it twice while I was there in the hospital. And then after the surgery, a lot of blood stopped, but I was still spotting, which is normal, because they just surgeryed me. So it was normal. But the spotting stopped a few days later. And then suddenly I didn't have a period anymore. And I was like, I've been bleeding for 6 straight months. I forgot what it was like. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I was talking about it. Like, I'm still wearing pads. I'm still wearing my period underwear. I still have towels on every single chair that I sit on regularly in my house. I still do to this day because I'm afraid that it'll start again. It's hard to wrap my brain around the fact that that will never happen again. So weird. So weird. I'm so grateful for it, but it's so weird. And for me, I will never again experience something like that. Whereas I've been reading stories about women who had already not had their period for years and years and years, and suddenly they start bleeding again. And I'm like, how does that even happen? If I start bleeding again, we got a problem because it's definitely not from my uterus. There's something wrong. And I need to go to the hospital. I do everything my man can do and even do more. Fix all the electronics. I do yard work, wall work, all kinds of different construction and renovations. I was the backbone of our company years ago. But while I have aches and pains, I never complain. On the other hand, complain about everything. But the problem is that you can do the physical work like a man, but you don't know what it's like internally to be a man. You don't know what it's like to be able to go on a road trip and be like, I need to pee and no bathroom in sight, and just stand there, whip your body part out and urinate. Relieve yourself anywhere. You could even do it while you're in the car. Women can't do that. We cannot do that, especially not big women. I don't know if a small woman can do something like that, but I know a big woman cannot. At least this big woman cannot. If I cannot squat, I cannot relieve myself because it will be everywhere. But like a friend of mine recently, right? Do you have a hysterectomy, Felicia? Bleeding after hysterectomy. Yes. Okay. So after I had my hysterectomy, you guys know my mom came. Well, I don't know if you were around then, Felicia, but I had my hysterectomy in December. I was literally dying, and I had no choice. I had to get my uterus removed. We had already done in September, so I got it done in December. But in September, we had already done myomectomy. Basically, they took out the biggest fibroids that I had in my uterus. Not because it just happened because they needed to clear the way because they were putting an IUD in, and they couldn't get to my uterine lining without removing this one because it happened to be at my canal. It was so big. They said it was bigger than a large grapefruit. They gave me the dimensions, but I don't remember. But it was this massive fibroid, like right in the middle of the canal, and they had to remove it so that they can get in to do. They did a biopsy of my uterine lining. They put a flashlight, and I have this in the office, and I never put it back, and I need to, but we haven't used it because it's dead. But they put something like this inside of me. This is a flashlight on this end, but it's dead. So this is a mechanic tool, right? So this is magnetic. So like if you need to like get into like something in the hood of your car, if you drop a screw or something, this will pick it up, and then it has a flashlight so you could see. And so they shove something like this inside of you, and it has a flashlight. So they're looking, right? And has a camera too. And so they look to see, they're checking your uterine lining to make sure that everything looks normal. They're checking to see like if it's thick or like thicker than a certain thickness. And then they do some scraping to make it a certain thickness. And then they do a biopsy. Well, this is what they did to me because it's called a histoscopy is what they did. So they, shaved the lining in me. They took 2 fibroids out. All the rest, they stayed because they said even if they were to take them out, that they could still grow back. So they tried not to do it as often as they can, at least until they can figure out, is there anything else? They were basically checking to see if there was any cancer cells within my uterine lining because there's no way to test it without taking a biopsy. So they took a biopsy, and then while they were in there, they put in an IUD. And that was supposed to help control my bleeding. And it didn't. It did for a few days. A few days went by, and I was having regular periods after that. I was still clotting, and they told me that would be normal because, like the uterine lining that they got off could still just like, it's growing back and it's coming back out, whatever. So it was just like a regular period that I was having, and there were very few clots that I was getting. And then suddenly, like a week later, it was all just back to the way it was before that. And I'm like, had to take a call. Love you, my friend. Have a great day. Bye, Miss Drea. I'll see you soon, or talk to you soon. And then after they did that, they're like, okay, so everything looks good. And I'm like, yeah, but why am I still bleeding? So when they did that, they had to give me a blood transfusion, an emergency blood transfusion there in the hospital. They ended up giving me 2 bags because they said that I had bled way too much and my numbers were just way too low. So they gave me some blood transfusions there. And then I went home, and then we got all the results back. I went back to the OB. And I was still yellow, and I was still had no energy to do anything. And then they retested all my numbers, and they're like, you're not getting any better. And I'm like, okay. So they said, we're going to send you, because of my size, because my BMI was still so high, I was at high risk of complications during surgery. And my uterus was so enlarged from all of the fibroids. One thing that they don't want to do, if they don't have to, is cut your uterus to be able to remove it out through your vaginal canal. Because if there is cancer cells in your uterine lining, when they cut it to remove it, it can release those cells into your body, and then you can get uterine cancer anywhere in your body because they just free floating, right? So she was like, this is really my concern, and it's not something that I'm comfortable doing on my own. So she sent me to a gynecological oncologist. And doing that, this gynecologist was like, I'm not worried about it. It'll come out. And as long as we know that there's no ovarian cancer history in your family, then we will leave you your ovaries so that you don't go directly into menopause. And I'm like, okay. It took a while. We finally figured it out because I don't have contact with my dad's family. Well, anybody who would know anything, right? So I did reach out to my dad and I asked him, and he thought I was trying to tell him I had cancer. And I was like, I don't. Not that I know of. Like, I don't know that I do. I mean, I have not been diagnosed with anything, was what I was trying to say. Sorry, hold on. David's been calling. I didn't even notice. Let's see what he wants. I didn't even know. I just saw it right now. Let's see. Hold on. You're going to give me all these FaceTimes and phone calls and you're not even going to answer? I literally was pulling my phone out as he was calling. And he's not going to answer? Okay, doo-doo brain, you don't want to answer? He's at work right now. But anyways, so we got to the point where we're like, you know, your uterus has so many fibroids within the muscle tissue, like the actual tissue, not just inside, that we could try to cut them out and then sew the tissue back together. But by the time we finished doing that, you would have no uterus left. Like, it's not an option. It's really not an option for you. It is an option, but it's really not an option for you. And so I was like, okay, like, you know, they try to do as much as they can to be able to save your fertility if needed. But I'm already to the age where I just can't do anything about it. You know, I'm never going to be a mother. And I had already dealt with that and I was still dealing with it and I was still having the emotions about it, but just do what we got to do. So we decided we would get, you know, a hysterectomy. And they were going to take out the cervix and both of my fallopian tubes, but they would leave in the ovaries in hopes that I would not go directly into menopause. And then the day comes, my mom was able to come. She was here with me. My mom has also had a hysterectomy 20 something years ago because she had it when my brother was like 3. And he's 23 now, so 20 years ago. And then when she went home, and I know that she was like stressed out because of me, like she was just worried about the surgery and she was worried about like my healing and stuff. And so when she went home, she ended up calling me and she was like, what do I do? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm bleeding. I was like, what do you mean you're bleeding? She's like, I'm bleeding. She's like, I went to the bathroom and there's blood and it's been happening all day. And I was like, you don't have a uterus. Like, what? And I told her, wait, does it hurt when you're peeing? She said, yes. I said, I think you have a UTI. And that can cause bleeding. But you're not bleeding through your vagina. You're bleeding through your urethra, which is worse. It's more painful. And she was like, what does that mean? And I told her, you can go to the doctor. They're going to give you antibiotics. Aw. He's like, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm still at work. But she ended up just going on cranberry juice and stuff. And I told her if it's not gone in a couple days, then I would go to the doctor. But UTIs will clear up on their own. Like if they get worse, you'll need antibiotics, but you don't really need antibiotics for that. And she said, okay. So a couple days went by and she's like, it's gone. She's like, you were right. And I was like, then I started thinking, oh my God, can you still bleed? And I have 2 aunts who, because in those days when they were doing hysterectomies, they would sometimes still leave the cervix in. They would just do partial hysterectomies where they would remove your uterus, but they may still leave in the fallopian tubes, or the ovaries or the cervix. And a lot of people were still left with cervix. And if you still have a cervix, you apparently can still bleed, but you can also still get cervical cancer. And because now I don't have a cervix, I don't have a uterus, I have neither of my fallopian tubes, and they did end up having to remove one of my ovaries because this is how I found out I had a third type of PCOS, because they don't really know unless they can go in and see. And, they discovered that I had so many cysts on my ovary that they couldn't save it. They couldn't remove the cysts, and they didn't want to risk one of them rupturing. And so they took my left ovary out. So I only have my right ovary in. And they're like, it'll eventually catch up, and then you might be able to still get like 10 years out of it. And I'm like, okay. But I should never bleed again. However, I have aunts who have their cervixes still, and they said they still get periods. And I was like, how's that possible? You don't have a uterus. And so I asked my OB, and they're like, well, your cervical lining or your cervix still can shed lining. I'm like, what? What was the point then of having a hysterectomy? Take it all out. I don't need any of it. But they said that they used to leave them in because they believed that it would keep you from going into menopause if they left you the cervix, even though the ovaries are the only part of your reproductive system that produces the hormones that you need to not go into menopause. And I'm like, okay. And supposedly just one ovary was enough to keep you making enough hormones to keep you like balanced. But I don't know. I was already going through perimenopause, I thought, before that. And then now that I've had my uterus removed and all of that, I am going through perimenopause. My symptoms say that I am. So I am on estradiol. If you have a uterus and you are going through perimenopause and you start HRT, so hormone replacement therapy for perimenopause, which anybody who is eligible to should, because every single organ in your body has estrogen receptors, and all of those estrogen receptors will be sharing what little bit of estrogen you have left. And eventually they don't function the way that they should because they have so little bit of estrogen to share. But if you have a uterus, you need to not only be on an estrogen replacement, but you have to be on a progesterone replacement. Otherwise, it increases your risk of cervical cancer. Since I no longer have a uterus or cervix, I don't need the progesterone anymore. I only need the estrogen. So I'm on estradiol. But just bear that in mind. If you never have to take your uterus out and you have to do that, please remember and talk to your doctor. You can't just be on estradiol, whether it's a patch or because there's a patch, a pill, and a cream. And I've been on the cream and I've been on the pill. I've never been on the patch. I'm severely sensitive to, I'm allergic to some adhesives, but I'm severely sensitive to most adhesives because a lot of them have latex and I'm allergic to latex. So it causes really horrible, terrible rashes. And so for me to be on an estrogen patch is not a possibility for me. Unless they can find one that is 100% latex free. But even latex free ones, I still get really bad rashes. Welcome back, Andrea. You missed it. David called, but he's not answering now. He called, but when I called him back, he didn't answer. Huh? Oh, what's up?
Nothing. I'll just let you know that I'm already supposed to be done.
Where are you?
I'm over here. I was trying to pick up the cooler, but the thing is, the fence was locked up.
Oh, that's not fun.
So I told Ron, I sent a picture, and I said, hey, man, it's locked up, so we'll have to probably pick it up Monday. He said, yeah, that's what they're probably going to do. Because that's fine. Just, he says, just when you pass the office, just tell me what time you clocked out at, the clock out time,
mm-hmm.
and then I'll put your hours.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't make sense to go all the way home and then say, hey, I'm done. But I'm on this side of town, so I'm close to the office, you know.
Oh, you're by the office?
Well, yeah, I'm over here in Redbury.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting close to Crescent.
I don't know where that's at.
You know what I've been craving?
What?
McDonald's hot fries.
Okay. Well, I am still on live. I mean, we can go. We can go if you want. I don't really feel like it, but.
Oh no! I was gonna say I can bring it home. I can stop at McDonald's on the way home.
Oh.
I can bring you something.
No, I'm good.
For lunch.
No, I'm good. If you want some, you can get some, but I don't want any.
Okay, I want to give you something to eat because I haven't eaten nothing this morning.
Okay.
I was rushing trying to get up there. I thought I was going to be late, you know. But anyways, I got snacks and drinks. But I'm going to get something from McDonald's. I was going to ask if you wanted something. Just for now, for like a snack.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, I'm going to stop at McDonald's and eat.
All right. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Okay, bye. Oh, Miss Linda. Enjoy your mommy. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Mother's Day as well. Share my love with your mommy. Give her a good hug for me. But yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Cervixes and uteruses and menopause. Like, don't get me wrong. I would have never said no before. I love McDonald's fries. But I hate cold fries. If we'll eat it there, maybe I would have said yeah. But I never would say yeah. If you're going to bring it home to me, nope. I don't want them cold. But it takes a lot for me to say no. And now that I'm on Mounjaro, I'm like, meh. Charlie Holmes, I don't need it. I don't need it. I would have went with him if he wanted to go just to get out of the house. I haven't been out of the house today. I'm supposed to go back to work on Monday. I was afraid of my back hurting today, so I put a patch on already. And I don't usually wear patches in the day. I usually use them at night. Yes, Miss Linda is incredibly blessed to still have her mommy around. Yes, I have to squat, but my knees are bad now, so no squatting. Yeah, but if you have no choice and you're out in the wilderness and you need to urinate, you are going to figure out how to get down enough to be able to let it go. But men are so lucky. They don't even have to move. Just unzip their pants and go in a bottle. Lucky guys. That, I'll be honest with you, that alone has always made me want to be a man. My whole life. I've always said, man, I wish I would have been born a man, just for the simple convenience of being able to pee wherever. Because, you know, I've told you guys, I've always had a bladder problem. I thought I was going to need a bladder lift when we did my hysterectomy. And I did talk to the oncologist about it because she was going to be my surgeon. I did ask her, can I get a bladder lift while we're in there? And when she did my exam, she had to do a cervical exam. She said, your muscles, I forgot what they're called, whatever muscles are there. She said, they're very strong. She said, I don't believe that you're going to have a problem with your bladder after this. She said, you have to imagine that your uterus is so swollen with all of these fibroids. It is so heavy, it's weighing down on your bladder. Because it's weighing down on your bladder, it's like you are 8-9 months pregnant, and 7 or 8 months pregnant, and it's sitting on your bladder. At that time, most women have bladder issues and they're constantly having to pee or pee themselves. They have a lot of accidents because they can't control it because their bladder is constantly being smushed. And that's what was happening to me. And I never knew that I could be warned before I have to pee, because my brother, he got so used to me throwing him out of the bathroom all the time that he would tell me, hey, I'm going to go take a shower. Do you need to pee? And I would say, no. And then as soon as he would get in the shower, within minutes, I'm pounding down the door. I have to pee. And I really, he was like, why didn't you just go before? Because I didn't have to. And I really would have no cues prior. And within 30, 40 seconds of me getting a signal that I needed to pee. If I didn't pee, I was going to pee my pants, period. And I've been like that since I was a kid. And he gets so frustrated with me. And I'm like, I can't help it. He's like, yes, you can, because he's able to hold it. So he thought I could too, but I couldn't. I couldn't hold it. I could not hold it. Now I can, you guys, and I don't know how, because I've never needed to before, because I couldn't. I didn't understand. I didn't understand how to, because I couldn't. I would try and try and try, but it would come out anyways. I would be, squeezing everything I could and holding my legs as tight and crossed, but I couldn't control it. I could not control it. Anytime I sneezed or coughed or even sometimes laughed too hard, I was going to pee my pants, period. And the doctor told me, I don't think you're going to need to have a bladder lift. And ever since, I would say maybe my first month, maybe after, I was still having some incontinence issues, but not as bad as it was. It was not nearly as bad as it was. It was like night and day, the difference between then and, like that month. And then since then, it's just been getting better and better and better. I have not had not one, and it's been 6 months, and I have not had not one accident. And I'm like, hey, this is cool. I didn't know that this was normal. I've never had a normal bladder, because apparently my uterus has never been normal. But now I don't have one, and now it's not weighing on my bladder. And she did tell me that it would take a while for my bladder to finally be able to sit up on its own, because it's so used to being weighed down that it has to like position itself back up. She's like, it's kind of like a ping pong ball, or I guess like a tether ball, where it knows where it's supposed to be. It has like a set point, but because it's been weighed down for so long and it's been sitting so far lower, it's not gonna just pop back up. Like, it'll slowly start coming back up. At my heaviest, 345 pounds, I couldn't hold my pee either. Now I finally can, after losing all this weight. Oh, that's awesome. See, and I wondered too if it was my weight, right? But my normal weight has been 300 pounds since I was a teenager, right? Like 296 pounds has been my normal size since I was a teenager. And I couldn't hold it then either. I couldn't, ever since I started my period, I've never been able to hold my need to pee. And I did ask, is it my size? And they said, I mean, it could contribute to it. Absolutely. But from what I'm seeing in your ultrasounds, I had ultrasounds and I had x-rays and I had something else done to see like where my organs were sitting, because they wanted to make sure they don't hit anything or whatever. And because apparently nicking your bladder is something that can happen during a hysterectomy. But she's like, yes, your weight could be a contributing factor. However, your biggest concern, or not concern, but your biggest like contributing factor to this is your uterus is just too heavy. And a normal uterus weighs like, I forgot, is it like 6 grams? It's like not a lot, right? Like a regular uterus is very light on its own. And mine was, what was it? Is it 10 grams? Now I don't remember how much it's supposed to weigh. They told me, but I don't remember. Let me see. How much does oh my God, regular uterus? Okay, I was way off. It's like 60 grams, right? It says 40 to 60 grams is what a regular uterus weighs, right? Like without anything. When they removed mine, I remember they had already removed some fibroids prior to removing my uterus. And those one of them weighed 60 grams by itself. Just the fibroid. When they removed it, my uterus combined, because they did have to cut it in half before they removed it, weighed 444 grams. And that was sitting on my bladder. So where are you at now, Miss Felicia? Your heaviest was 345 grams. I thought it was heavier. Me too, right? Like I thought it was really heavy. And for me, even 444 grams is like 2 pounds or 3 pounds. It's like not a lot. But that sitting on your bladder apparently is a lot. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I really, really thought that they were like pounds, but no, they're grams. So I wonder what 60 grams is. Congratulations. Sorry, I have food in my mouth. 264 pounds. Yeah, you're almost 100 pounds down. So proud of you. What's your goal? What's your goal weight? Miss Andrea, I don't mean to rub it in, but I'm less than you now. Hey, I don't even want to tell you what I weighed in this morning because it's not official, but I'm gonna. But it's not official. Okay. Do you see that? 280.5. See that? 280.5. That was today. Finally broke that freaking stall that's been keeping me. I'll be really happy once I'm out of the 80s. 212 is my first goal. Yeah. You could do it. You can do it. You can do it. So somebody had said, because in my last video or my last weigh-in video where I was talking about I have a really hard time being proud of myself and being happy about the 200 pounds that I've already lost. I have a really, really hard time because I do not want to become complacent. I don't want to be comfortable. I don't want to fall into this like just comfortability, right? With I've already lost 200 pounds. The rest is just, I still have 100 and, well, it depends. I have between 143 to 153 pounds to lose to get to like my goal range, right? Because I have a 10-pound goal range of 135 to 125. And people are telling me, you're crazy. That's too small. I'm like, I could be crazy. Let me. That's my business. If I get to 150 pounds and I decide this is where I want to be, I'm comfortable here, my body's happy here, then that's what I'll do. But this is my business, not yours. I get to have whatever goal I want for myself. And this is the goal range that me, my primary care physician, my OBGYN, my dietitian have all come together and said, we agree that this is an ideal weight range for you at your little midget height. They didn't say that. That's me. I'm only 5'2.5". And my little midget height, which actually my spine doctor told me that I am shorter now because what's been going on with my spine has made me shrink. I'm no longer 5'2.5". He said, if you measure yourself, you lost a good half an inch. So I'm probably 5'2" now. And because it's fallen, my spine has fallen from the, don't ask me to pronounce it, ankyliosis or something like that. No, it ends in itis. Itis, okay. Back in my medical assistant days, I remember that itis means swollen, inflamed, right? So like tonsillitis, bronchitis, arthritis is inflammation. And so whatever that word is, I just remember A and K, right? It was a beginning word. And I remember the last words are itis. So something itis. Something is swollen in my spine, right? They say, well, I have a couple of issues. So that ankylosis, whatever, is a swelling, is an inflammation disorder in my spine. They say that it always starts in the spine and it is almost always confined to the spine if you find it soon enough, but it can end up going into other joints and stuff if it lingers too long without being treated. But I also have some deterioration, degradation, something like that, of my spine as well. That is a different issue. And that can also become worse, but he said that I'll need physiotherapy for the rest of my life in order to keep it maintained, which is fine. But you guys know, because I have this back problem, I'm not able to do a lot of like normal things, right? Like I can't do sit-ups. There's no way. Like I will be in tears crying. I can't do like just regular things, right? So they're teaching me how to do these things modified. So I'm learning to do sit-ups to strengthen my core, because they said that's the number one thing that I need to work on right now is strengthening my core, because I'm having atrophy in my discs or whatever inside of my spine. And I don't know if you guys know, but atrophy means shrinking, right? So these pieces of my body that are not supposed to be shrunken are shrinking. And in order to stop the shrinking, I need to strengthen my core so that I can do these other exercises so that I don't have all of the inflammation pressing on my nerves. So, which is causing the pain. It's my nerves that are causing the pain from the inflammation. It is not necessarily my spine itself. And so they're teaching me how to do these modified things. And I thought about doing a video for you guys. I know I can't do it there. But I thought about doing it at home, but the problem is doing it here. I would only really be able to do it on my bed because I can't lay on the floor. If I lay on the floor, I will not be able to get back up. We do have like a yoga mat. And David thinks that we could probably bring that in, and it might be soft enough for me to be able to lay down on the ground and do these exercises for you guys on video, but we're not sure yet. And I'm not willing to risk it right now. I need to be just a little bit stronger in my back before we do that. But there are some really cool exercises that they are teaching me in order to get these things going. But I don't want to become so comfortable in the loss that I've already had that I don't want to lose more. Wait, I don't know if that makes sense, but you get what I'm saying, right? My husband is 125 pounds. Me personally, I don't ever want to be that athletic. But it is the healthiest goal weight. So I completely understand why people want to be that way. But okay, how tall is your husband? Because 125 pounds at 5'2" is a completely different beast than 125 pounds at 6 feet. Big difference. David is 5'8", and I don't know if he's gonna be okay with me telling you his weight. Let's just pretend I didn't say it. He's like 200 pounds. He has like a 5-pound weight range. So he'll be like anywhere just under 200 to just over 200, you know? And he is bigger than what I want to be, but I would love to be his size. But he's also taller than me, and he's not that much taller than me, but he's 6 inches taller. And I know 6 inches doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is. He's 5'5" and I'm 5'6". Very tall for a female. What is your ultimate goal weight though? Do you have an ultimate goal weight? Because I thought to myself, okay, I will start looking at 25-pound goals, right? Like I'm going to start setting myself up for 25-pound goals. And whenever I hit these 25 pounds, then I'll be like, woohoo, let's celebrate, right? But like in a different way, because I've always been that person who celebrates with food. And I don't want to do that anymore. So I want to celebrate in a different way. I don't know what, but we'll figure something out. And even 25 pounds, I still have to hit that 6 times from now until my ultimate goal weight. Somebody else had mentioned that they celebrate, or they set themselves 10-pound goals. And I thought, 10-pound goals? I don't know if I want to do 10 pounds. I mean, 10 pounds is a lot when you have to, when you have to lose 50 pounds, that's only 5 times. When you still have 150 pounds to lose, that's 15 times. That's a lot of times. It's a lot of times. You're a tiny pickle. I am very short. I know. And apparently I'm shorter now. But I don't know. So I'm just trying to hurry up and get this epidural so that I can continue life like a normal person. They said the epidural will be like a reset for my back. And then I'll be able to like function like a normal person after that. Because it's just basically putting the steroid directly right into my spine, into the piece that needs it. Oh, you want to be in the 190s? That's awesome. I don't know is that like the goal that you set for yourself? Or is that where your doctor wants you to be? Or is that like You guys agreed that that's where you should be, or you haven't talked to them about it? Because my doctor never brought it up. It was me. I brought it up to them. I brought it up to all of them. I was like, I need to set a goal weight and I need to come to a consensus that I'm not being delusional on where I want to be. And so I brought it up to all of my doctors and we all agreed that that was, a good weight range for me to shoot for. Although whether or not it's possible, I don't know, but hey, I'm here to try. So where's that'll happen? I'll fail. So what? I'll still be, even if I get to 200 pounds, that's still what, 283 pounds down. It's a lot. Where I'm at right now is smaller than when I was 16. Because I was 296 pounds, give or take 4 pounds. It would go up or down 4 pounds. And I was 296. And right now I'm 280. So I'm 16 pounds or 12 pounds because that 4 pound, give or take. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm sure it's a lot on my back. I'm sure my back is like, hey. I'm sure my knees are like, hey, girl, keep this up because, this is less pressure on me because the pressure, like for every 10 pounds, it adds like 100 pounds of pressure or something. I don't know. I don't remember the math. I'm not a mathematician, but it's not a lot. Like, it's not a lot of weight that adds. Hey, Miss Hardy, how are you? Woohoo. What are we hoo-hooing about? What are we excited about? Woohoo. Congratulations, Delilah. What are we celebrating? I want to celebrate with you. Miss Hardy, Debbie's not here. Oh, you lost weight. Yes, I did. It's unofficial though, because I don't weigh in on Saturdays. I weigh every day. But my official weigh-in day for my videos every week is Mondays. I usually do I always do my videos on Monday. I used to post them on Tuesday because they would post that night at midnight, but I started having a lot of problems with YouTube uploading them. So now I do them on Wednesdays. But I always film them on Monday. So whatever you guys see on Wednesday is always filmed on Monday. And I'm unofficially down another like pound and a half. I'm going to come to Fort Worth and walk with you soon. Yay! Yes, we're going to do that. So we were thinking, I can't do this weekend coming. We're already on the weekend, but the 17th I can't do, but I was thinking maybe the next weekend. The problem with that is I think it's like Memorial Day or something. And if we're out there, if we're trying to do something Memorial Day, I don't know if it's going to be like really crowded, really packed. But we were planning, I think I told you, we're planning to go to the Trinity River Trail by the Fort Worth Zoo. Because the other person who's going to come with us, she needs very specific accessibility because she's in a wheelchair. I'm happy to comply, but I don't know what the accessibility. Harji, send me an email, please. Every single one of my videos has my email address. It is Life with Lala, which used to be my channel name. YT, so Life with Lala, like YT, like YouTube, @gmail.com. Send me an email. Every single one of my videos, except for the lives, have my email address listed. And we will figure out how to connect. And we will absolutely do that. And because if we don't do it in May, I think June's going to just be too hot and we'll have to wait until the fall. So if whatever happens and we're unable to do it in May, if we're going to be outside, we need to wait until the fall because I cannot handle that kind of heat. I'll die. I will not literally die. God forgive me. I didn't mean to say that. I have suffered heat stroke in the past. I don't know if you guys know much about heat stroke, but if you have gotten heat stroke once, you are more susceptible to it for the rest of your life. So I'm like medically not supposed to be outside when it gets into the hundreds plus. I'm not supposed to be outside for extended periods of time because, again, I am more susceptible to heat stroke again. And that was a very terrible experience. That was very awful. Like I went walking to the grocery store to go pick up my prescription because David was not here. And he pulled into the street when I was walking, and he seen me, and he was like, "You just looked so off, like something was wrong." I pulled over to get you in the car, and like I passed out in the car, and like he thought I fell asleep, and he was like, "Wait, she's walking and she's that tired? No, something's wrong." So he brought me straight home, and he said that getting me to bed, that I was just talking nonsense, and he was talking to me trying to like make sure I was like alert, and it wasn't. He got me to the bed, and then he started like force feeding me like ice cubes because I couldn't open my mouth. They were so dry and stuck together. So he was like just rubbing the ice cubes on my lips until like they would start to melt so that it would like go into my mouth. And then once I finally was able to open my mouth, he was like putting little bits of water, trying to like rehydrate me, right? And he put like a cold rag on my head, and like I was like passing out on him, and it was scary for me. So I can't imagine how scary it was for him because he's the one who had to see it all. Like I don't remember all of it. He remembers everything because he was there. And so then after I was like aware and like there, he called the doctor, and they told him that it sounds like I had heat stroke. And then they said, okay, can you bring her in? And so I went into the doctor, and they were like, okay. So they told me what happened. They were like, as of right now, I think you're pretty okay. Cause he kept making me drink more and more water. They were like, we were afraid we were going to need to give you like IV hydration. But they're like, you cannot go outside. It was like 114, 15, 20 degrees or something like that outside. And he was like, you need to, for like 2 weeks, I wasn't allowed to go outside at all. And I was like, how did this happen? I mean, I'm not used to this kind of weather. I've only lived in Texas for 7 years. And now 7 years, back then it was like 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, I'm not used to this. It's too hot. That was a really long story, huh? I don't know. I go off on tangents a lot. But I don't know. So I want to know, you guys, what kind of videos do you guys want to see? I'm still working on a like what I eat in a day kind of video. Like you guys see what I eat for breakfast. I showed you guys my Jello that I made. I have iced coffee almost every day. Same, my doctor said it was sun poisoning. Yeah, they told me that it was heat stroke and sun poisoning. I was like, they're different? I always think they're the same. So my brain just, what happened, Felicia? How did that happen to you? I mean, you're in the San Diego area. It gets hot there. Southern California gets hot. Where I'm from in Northern California, doesn't get that hot. Central California gets hot though, because they're not near the ocean, I guess. But Southern California is near the ocean. Well, a lot of it is, and still. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's terrible. Yeah, so whenever people try to do things with me during the summer, I'm like, I can't. And people just think, oh, you're just being a little punk. Da, 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 da. Like, get over it. It's not that hot. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, it legitimately could harm me. Like, for real, for real. Like, for real. Like, I'm not just saying it because I'm lazy, which I am. You guys ever hear this song? Okay, one thing about me, I am not a country fan. I'm not a country fan. But when I first was coming here to Texas, I met a guy. His name was Justin. I loved that guy. Not like that, but me and him were like so close. Like he was such a good friend. He was going through a divorce and stuff, and we were just really, really good friends. And he ended up passing away a couple of years ago. He was my first male friend that I met here. You know what's so sad? Okay, so I have my first male friend that I met here. His name is Justin. And then I have my first female friend that I met from here, and her name was Elizabeth. And both of them have passed away, and they both passed away within a week of each other. And they didn't know each other, but she passed away from cancer, and he passed away. Nobody knows. I don't know. I'm sure his mother knows now that they probably did an autopsy or something, but they found him no longer breathing in his apartment. He lived alone. So I don't know how long he was there before that happened, but I went to the Pride Parade and got dehydrated. People don't understand just how important being hydrated really is. Like, I drink water all day long, and if any of you guys are doing the challenge with us, the Pickle Posse Challenge. This month we are doing, what it is that I am trying to start small habits, right? I don't know if you guys know what habit stacking is, but we want to do small habits throughout the rest of this year, so that by the end of this year and the beginning of next year, we will have all these little small habits that we stack on top of each other that we've learned for a whole month, and we can continue on. So the month of May, it is hydration and or adding in fruits and vegetable servings to your week, right? So you get to pick whichever one you want to do, or if you want to do all of them. I'm doing all of them. I consider fruits and vegetables the same thing. So I set my own, and you set your own goal. Like if you want to drink, 40 ounces of water, whatever it is that you want to drink, that is up to you to set that goal. But once you set that goal, we want to try to make it daily, right? So whatever that goal is, you want to try to get that intake daily. The fruits and vegetables are a weekly goal. Mine is I want to get in at least 3 extra servings of fruits and vegetables a week. And then when the month of May is over, we'll do something else, another small thing. But whatever it is that I did in May, so for me, it would be fruits and vegetables plus the water, will carry on into June. So whatever that is in June that we decide to do, which will also be another small goal or a small habit, we will pair them now. So in June, whatever it was that you did, you will do it in June. And then in July, whatever those 2 habits were, will come into July, and whatever the new habit in July creation that we're doing, so that this way, when 2026 comes around, we have 6 small goals or habits that we now have stacked on top of each other to encourage a more healthy lifestyle in the year of 2026. And yeah, and I have this like ridiculous goal where I want to lose 81 pounds by October. Can I do it? I don't know. But, I like setting ridiculous goals. Whether I can do it or not, I don't know, but we're going to find out, right? Because I'll be 44. And why not? I want to be out of the 200s. I want to be like 199.999999. I don't care. I want to be out of the 200s by my birthday. Can I do it? We'll see. But, we're on May 10th and my birthday is October 2nd. So we have 5 months. No. Yeah. 5 months, because April would have been 6 months. So we have 5 months from now until then. Can I do it? It's 16.6 pounds a month. I don't know. But we're going to try. I'm October 6th. Hey, October 6th, baby. Happy, well, we're just over 5 months away from your birthday now, or just under 5 months away from your birthday now. Hey. We'll celebrate together. I don't know what we'll do, but we'll do something. But yes, please send me an email, Harji, and we will figure out to get together, and we're going to go for a walk. And Debbie had suggested we go to lunch or something. So if that's what you guys want to do, that's what we'll do. I don't care. We can have a picnic. That'll be fun. Or we can go to one of those. I mean, there's a bunch of little restaurants and stuff out there. There's a restaurant, Sweet Greens, that like you could build your own salad, I think. So, Felicia, I'm so sorry. That really stinks. But I'm glad you're better now. I'm so proud of you, girl. You are just killing it with your weight. But we are going to go for a walk, and I would love to do that, and I'm so excited. And right now, through September, I want to say, I don't work Saturday or Sunday, because we change our bids every 3 months, 3 or 4 months, it depends. And from May to September, I will be working Monday through Friday. I think next week it starts our new bid. So I won't be working from 5 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. anymore. I will now be working from 3:30 p.m. 3:30 p.m. I'm pretty sure, until midnight. So I'm happy about that, because I could go to sleep on the same day that I woke up, instead of the next day. So what are we going to do for our birthdays, Harji? We got to do something. You can see, like, I'm starting to get some rosacea kicking in. But have you guys noticed ever since I started this rosacea treatment, the triple cream of azelaic acid, metronidazole, that's an antibiotic cream, and cilantro, cilantro, I think is also an antibiotic cream. It's evermycin 1%, but they're creams and I mix them together. And then I put them on my rosacea prone parts of my skin. So on my cheeks, on my nose, on my chin. And then I do a little bit in here because that's where you can see it a little bit right here. That's where my rosacea kicks in. And ever since I started doing that, yes, I still get the redness, but I have not had the pain. I do get the swelling. Like, I don't know if you could see, I could feel it though. It's like tight, but it's not that bad right now. You can see how it's like mushy. Like here, it's not like, do you see that? It's not so mushy. But here, do you see how it's just like, I don't know how to explain it, but do you see how much more mushy it is right here? And then right here, you can see, yes, I'm fat. There's fat there. So you could see, but you don't see the same kind. Do you see that? The difference? I don't know if it's picking up. But anyways, so this isn't getting painful anymore. And it was very painful before. It does sometimes get like really tight where it's like uncomfortable, but it's not painful. But I was also getting the pustules. So like they're like little baby pimples, right? Like everywhere, except they're not whiteheads or blackheads, but you would get them wherever your rosacea would get. And I was getting those before, but I'm not getting them anymore ever since I started that. And also I'm on the spirulactin orally, right? For the hormonal acne. And then it's supposed to help balance your hormones with PCOS so that you also stop growing the facial hair, which also has gotten so much better. I don't know if you guys know. I used to have to shave my face, and I'm not kidding, twice a day. In the morning and in the like more towards the evening. But if I was going to do something, I'd have to do it 3 times a day because it was thick and black and gross and ugly. And I would get a mustache and a beard, and my beard was getting worse. It was like more down here, but mine would be like from right here to right here, and then it grows down. So some people get it like everywhere. And I did have these crazy sideburns, which I shaved, but they're not as bad anymore. I used to have to shave 2 or 3 times a day, depending on what I was doing. Or you would see like a 5 o'clock shadow, like no joke. Now I only have to do it like once a day. And sometimes I could skip a day. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know if it's the spirulactin. I don't know if it's because I got my uterus removed. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. No idea. I don't know if it's because I'm on an HRT now. I have no clue what is helping that, but the spirulactin is for the hormonal acne and the excessive facial hair growth, right? Not just facial hair, but the unwanted hair growth that is typically a male issue, right? Like the extra arm hair, the back hair. Like I have peach fuzz on my back, but it's far more than a woman should have. And I have dark hair, so it's black and it looks like, it's not nearly as bad as my arms, but my arms are regular, just like little short baby hairs. But this one is like fluffy. And then the facial hair is going down. I never had chest hair, but I do have like a little bit more on my belly. Thank God I don't have chest hair. But all of that is like getting better, except my back hair stayed the same. But the spirulactin orally, and then I'm on those 3 creams plus the tretinoin. The tretinoin is for the hormonal acne, but it also can help the rosacea. It can also be very horrible for rosacea, so it depends. Talk to your doctor. But I'm on those 4 creams every single night now. And look how much better my skin is. I don't know if you guys remember, but I had horrid skin. Horrid. I had hormonal outbreaks and I had the pustules from the rosacea. And you can see I'm red, but it's not that bad. And nowadays, like people intentionally put like blush, like red blush, like from here, like this. And they look like they have rosacea. And I'm trying to get rid of it. But this, Dr. Wolf Dimples, if you're still here, I haven't seen you comment in a while, but amiga, if you're here, remember we talked about the Naked Sundays? Girl, this is bomb.com, like for real. They have different versions of the sunblock. This one is the Cabana Clear. This is the world's first water gel serum of sunblock. This stuff is the bomb.com. I have not put it on yet, but I need to. I'm going to show you if it ever, come on, clear up. There we go. Okay. So Do you see how it looks? I'm gonna put 2 squirts, but it does not smell like sunblock at all. And oh, I can feel the heat in my face. It does not smell like sunblock. Like, yes, you could, like, right now it kind of sort of has like a very, very, very faint, and probably because I might have gotten it up my nose, but a very, very faint, like, smell of maybe somebody has some sunblock within a mile of you. You know that smell, right? Like where it's super, super, super strong. I should put it down my neck, but I don't want to because I have that other medicine on. And I don't know if I can, I don't want to. But this stuff is bomb.com. And then this one is their hydrating glow mist. This is also, it's a top spray. So this should not be used alone as sunblock or sunscreen. You need a sunscreen. And then later on, you can use this to top off. Like, you know how you're supposed to reapply your sunscreen unless you're in the water. If you're in the water, this is not going to work. You're going to need another base. But if you're just out and about on the day or whatever, you could top off with this. It's SPF 50. It smells so freaking good, you guys. Oh, it smells so good. Does not smell like sunblock at all. And I still cannot stand that name, the Kakadu plum. Like, it really cannot be called Kakadu, can it? Because in Spanish, caca is not something that you want to eat. And the Kakadu plum is an Australian fruit. I wouldn't want to eat it. But it also has hyaluronic acid, Kakadu plum, and watermelon. And oh, it smells so good. This is the bomb. I keep this in my purse. I keep it with me so that, you know, being out. And especially for you, Miss Felicia, who has also suffered with sun poisoning, heat stroke, any of those things, you know how important it is that you're supposed to be wearing your sunblock. I'm very bad at it. I try very hard. And I grew up next to the ocean, and I should be better at this, but I'm not. But yeah, this one is, I love it. I love the way it works. Of course, everybody's skin is different. Take that as you will, but for me, it works really well. And you guys know I have very, very sensitive skin, and I also have rosacea, and I also have large pores that I want to go away, and I don't know how to make them go away. But so I just want to tell you guys, you're looking it up right now. Like, what, the Kakadu plum, or the naked Sundays? Because I want to know what a Kakadu is. And it can't really be pronounced Kakadu, can it? That's the way I say it, because that it just sounds like that's, I mean, I don't speak English that well. I mean, I do. It's my only language, but you know what I mean, right? Like, it's Kakadu. Right? Can you see that? Come on. Focus. Why won't it focus? Because still focusing on, oh, there we go. See? Kakadu plum. Naked Sundays. I love it. They have different ones, and I'm dying to try their lip gloss. They have a marshmallow lip gloss, but it's been sold out, and it's kind of expensive, so I don't think I will, but I want to. And you guys, I love marshmallows so much that I buy crap that has marshmallows in it. Oh, this one is in it. I have a different one that has marshmallow root in it, and I love it. And I buy it only because it has marshmallows. And just so you know, I always have my emotional support pickles nearby. They stay in here in the office because this is where I film, and this is where I get emotional. So I don't get emotional other places, but they are right here, and they make me laugh every day, and I love them. But yes, Naked Sundays is thebomb.com. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I wish I had an affiliate link that I could share with you guys, but I do not. Love it. And they do have a lot of sales that I've noticed. I just so happened to come in when they had a deal where if you bought so much money, they gave you one of these for free. And then if you spent a different amount of money, they gave you one of these for free. And I had bought just a set of these together, and it came with a brush. A set of these together, and that put me over for getting one of these for free. And then I bought, I think, a second one of these, and that put me over. So I got these 2 for free, but I forgot what I bought. But I just got a bunch of these pretty much, and then the brush, and then I still was able to like use coupon codes and stuff. and I don't remember what I paid, but a sunblock is very expensive, but you can use an FSA with it. If you have FSA, HSA, you can use that for sunblock sunscreens. So they do have a lot of sales. And then the day I bought it, because I had been, yes, I read that too, that the Kakadu plum is ultra rich in vitamin C, which I also use vitamin C cream every day. I use an active form of vitamin C. Forgot what the brand is called. I think I did a video about it before. Can't remember what the brand is. But I use vitamin C cream every morning, or serum. It's like a serum. And then I put this on top of it. I didn't put it on earlier because I'm not outside, but I'm going to go outside hopefully. And you guys, I love it. And if you don't like it too, because it is going to be shiny, like you are going to be shiny. If you don't like shiny, there's different ones that like have mattifying and stuff. And they also have tinted sunscreens, which I have tried in the past from Supergoop, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of tinted sunscreens, mostly because my color doesn't stay the same. Like I change colors. Like right now I'm lighter skinned because I have not been in the sun. But when I start being in the sun a little bit more, I'll be darker skinned. And then how do you pick a color? Plus, usually I have to mix two colors to make my skin color. So whatever. But yes, I love this stuff, and I've been using it now like at least a month, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving it. But the thing that I love the absolute positively the most is that it does not stink like sunblock. I hate that smell. I hate that smell. And I love it. And it doesn't have like an overly annoying smell of anything. Plus, I have to be careful. Like I'm not supposed to be using like stuff with like alcohols and different fragrances. So I have to be very careful. But these have been working so well. But they're definitely not waterproof. And there are some sunscreens that are water resistant, waterproof or whatever, up to like 80 minutes or something. But these are not. These are not waterproof. So these are not like don't go in the water. Active ingredients, yeah. But the only thing that I don't like is that it's such a like mirrored finish that you can't really read what the heck you're trying to read. So if you want to read it, you can go on their website, because you can't really read it off of this. Like this, you can read, and it could just be because I have really bad eyes. Like maybe I can't, maybe my eyes can't differentiate the difference between like the finish and the words. I don't know, but it's really hard for me. But you guys, I love this stuff. And I'm always going to tell you what I love. I don't get paid to tell you guys anything, but I tell you that I love stuff, and I do love stuff. But you guys know that I have very specific needs when it comes to my skin, right? Because I do have eczema, I do have rosacea, I do have very, very sensitive skin, and I am allergic to latex. So I can't use just anything. And there are a lot of people who can. There are a lot of people who can use just anything and it doesn't bother them, and all of that stuff. And that's great. Good for you. I wish I was like you, because I'm not. But because I am so sensitive, I feel like I can tell you guys, if this doesn't bother my extra sensitive skin, it is highly unlikely that it will bother you. Highly unlikely. Unless you also have skin conditions like me, then this might not be the right product for you. But for me, it's awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love that they have a bunch of different kinds. And Naked Sundays was made, well, it's an Australian company, but America has very rigid regulations on sunscreens that they cannot sell their formulation here. Korean companies cannot sell their sunscreens here either. So I'm always like, man, I want to fly to these countries and pick these things up. And, I work for an airline who does travel internationally, so I really could do that, but my passport is expired, so I can't. I need to renew it, and I just haven't done that because I haven't been able to travel because I've been so sick. But now I'm finally getting better, and we're losing weight, and I'll be able to fit on an airplane. And I went for my brother's graduation in June last year, so a whole year ago. And a year ago, I was able to buckle the seatbelt on the airplane. So I know that my body is like in a different configuration than it once was, because before at this size, I wouldn't have been able to buckle the belt. And a year ago, I was 80 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was not able to buckle the belt before when I was 300 pounds. And now I'm pretty close to 300 pounds still. And I was able to buckle the belt by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. It was a tight squeeze, but I did it. And I wasn't able to do that before. I still used the extender just for comfort, but I didn't have to. If I would have been in an exit row, I would have been able to sit in the exit row, because you cannot be in the exit row if you need an extender. And I would have been able to sit in the exit row at that size. And I'm like, wow. So my goal is to, by my mom and David's birthday in February of next year, when we go on vacation, we're going to go on a cruise or somewhere else. We're going to go somewhere tropical, because we need to keep my mom in warmer weather, because we don't want to get her plate bothered. She gets sick in cold weather, and she wants to go to Europe, but we can't, because that time of the year it's really cold. So we're concerned about that, which we were going to go to Italy, but whatever. So David and I need to get our passport. David doesn't have a passport. He'll be a first-time passport haver, and I will be renewing my passport. And I wish I knew where my passport was, so I could show you the picture. Because trust me, my passport picture and me now are two completely different faces. And that is the absolute truth. And it's so weird to me to see the difference. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, it's so weird. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Let's see. You could pick up selfies. Okay. So this was me and David on his birthday in 2018. This was me at my lowest. I was 235 pounds here. This was right before I got sick. And no, I'm lying. Sorry. This was 2019. This was him on his birthday in 2019. And then you can tell I was already gaining weight back. This was us on New Year's 2020. And then, let's see. Oh my God, you guys. Did you guys ever see the movie Serendipity? Oh, I love that movie. But all the rom-coms are in New York are always going to the Serendipity restaurant. And I always wanted to get one of their frozen hot chocolates. And this was me like at I think probably already about 250 in New York. I was so shocked by the sight. It was so funny. But you can already see, like, this was me at the first time around when I was first I think I was 320 here. You can see how round I am, right? Like my face, how round it is. Trying to see. Okay, so this was June 2022. You can see how round my face is. And this is when I had pretty hair, before all my hair started falling out from the anemia. But the thing is that I never really noticed like how quickly my face was changing, you know? And it's really weird for me to go back and see like just how different. I don't know how to like, I don't know how to make it go back and like just show me, because it's showing me pictures of anybody that was a selfie. What year was this? 2021. So you could see this was me and David in 2021. Look how round my face was. It's like big circle. And now my face is like more elongated, even though I'm still like, I'm bigger now than I was then. Like, what? What the heck? I'm bigger now than I was then. And my face looks different now. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like you could just see just how much more round. And I didn't see it. Like, what the heck? Photogenic, my booty hole. I wish I was photogenic. Girl, you're tripping. Oh my God. Okay, so this was obviously in COVID era. Look at the acne. This is hormonal outbreaks on my forehead. Look at my cheeks. Like, and look at my skin right now. So different. So different. Those outbreaks came every time I was on my period. Every single time without fail. Oh my God, this is such a freaking terrible picture, but I was trying to get the acne. Look at that. Look how horrible the acne is. Look at the difference. Oh, why am I? Oh, there we go. Like, aw. Okay, so you guys, I found a picture. This is me and Justin. That was my best friend, my male best friend here in Texas who passed away. Makes me so sad. He was so young. He was younger than me by like 3 years or 4 years. Like, oh, so heartbreaking that he's not here anymore. But I can't find it. Like, there's a picture that I took of me in a video a couple years prior, and then me on that day, like I took it from a screenshot of the video because I was looking for something, and I ended up finding it, and it showed me like the difference of my own face. Like, whoa, that's a difference. And I never noticed it before. Where the heck? I don't know where that picture is. Am I just going back in time? I am. I'm just going back in time on here. This is just taking me back to like 2020s. What the heck? Hold on, there's a picture in here. What the heck? I know I took one, but where is it? So this was me at my cousin's wedding. I was 330 pounds at this time. Can't really see my body, but like I have that dress. I should try it on. See what it looks like. What? There's a picture and I cannot find it now. What the heebie-jeebies? Where is it? Oh, and just for funsies, this is me and David, our very first picture that we took together when I first moved here. But, oh, I know where I can find it. Oh, I like this one. Let's go back because it was at least a year ago. Maybe? No, I don't think it was a year ago. Apparently, I post a lot on here. What the heck? I'm trying to find it because it like shocked me to see the difference. I did not realize just how far along like my face just alone had come, because I'm the size that I was for my entire life, and I never realized just how different it could be gaining and losing. Like, what? Like, I'm just shocked sometimes when I look back and see like just how different it was or is. I am. Like, look at this is just me just 6 months ago. This was a screenshot from a video that I posted on my walking video just 6 months ago. Like, how did I not notice the difference? I don't know. How the heck did I not notice the difference? I mean, I think you become blind to your own self and you just don't notice like what is really happening to you good or bad, changes, you know, up or down, I guess. But like, it is so, what the heck? Didn't I post that picture here? Thought I did. Could have sworn I did. Guess I didn't. But it's just so, like, just, I don't know. It's just so different. People, me. It's just like, wow, really? How is that me? Like, I don't understand. Like, I know you guys very rarely see my whole entire body, but this was barely April 6th. And I love that chair. I want one of those rocking chairs because, you know, I don't really film down, but maybe I should. Because I'm seeing my body change like a lot. And like, look, this was me February 2023. Look at all my hair. Look at all that hair. But look at my face. Look at the difference in my face. Yes, I still have a double chin, but such a difference. Like what the heck? It is such a difference. Oh, my friend sent me this picture the other day. This was taken in 2015. So I was like 300 pounds. But I don't know if it'll focus. But yeah, that was me being a me. Drunk. I was a drunk. Whatever. It was fun. It was fun being drunk. Let me see. Me. But I don't really drink much anymore. How come it won't show me the flipping pictures? Like, what did I do with it? I have to clear my pictures and stuff out. I switched phones. Dang it, that's why. Let me see if it'll come up in this one. I had to switch phones though because it was, let me see, collage maybe? It has 2 pictures. I don't know where that picture is, but there's like a picture of me in a video, like my face next to my face in the exact same shirt. It just so happens that I was wearing the exact same shirt that day. And it is so funny to me that I never noticed the difference. Like, what the heck was I doing that I wasn't noticing the difference? But I don't remember when I took that picture. So I can't even like just go back in time to that time frame and look. But it has to be kind of recent, right? Because I just realized it. I mean, I made a video about it, so it's in there, but what the heck? Where is this darn picture at? I don't know why I'm so stuck on wanting to show you guys this picture now, but I want to. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you, picture? Where are you? I'm just like, what the heck? I need to show you guys now. Where is it? Come on. I'm going to give up in like 10 more slides because I'm sick of looking. Oh, wait a minute, you guys. I got to show you. Oh, I'll go back to it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Oops. Christina Marie. Let me see. Maybe I can find it when I look through the pictures I sent my cousin. Because I remember showing her. She's like the only person I've showed in my family this. Here it is. I know. So smart. Okay. Look at the difference. And this, I was still really sick in the hair, so you could see that I'm yellow and dark. But I didn't notice this difference. Like, what the heebie-jeebies? Oh my God, to Costco. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Oh, have a great day, Miss Felicia. Happy Mother's Day again. Good morning, all. I'm so glad you're still on. Your face looks wonderful. Oh, thank you. But I'm almost. Look at the difference. Why won't it focus? I can't stand it. It won't focus. Like, it is such a freaking difference to see. But I didn't see it, you guys. Like I didn't see it. But if you want to know how different creping skin can become losing 200 pounds, look, this is my butt neck. I call it a butt neck because it looks like a butthole. But look at my neck now. Try to know when you guys don't sleep on it because it makes the biggest difference ever. I'm so glad you recognize your success. I actually do not. That's the problem. I seen this picture and then I said, okay. And it's because I was looking, I think I was doing a video about my hair where I was like, I'm so distraught over losing all this hair. And I was going back to videos that I had made earlier in my journey when I was losing weight naturally, right? But I still had all my hair. I still had all this hair. And I noticed that I was wearing the same shirt that day. And I think that's what caught my eye in one of the videos that I was making. And I was like, whoa. And I took those two pictures. And that's the only time that I noticed the difference is when I put the two pictures next to each other. And I'm like, it is such a difference. But I do notice that this time around, my body is configured differently than it was when I was 300 pounds in my normal everyday, self prior to losing the weight, getting to 235 pounds, and then gaining all of this weight back and then becoming 483 pounds and then being where I am now. Like, it is such a difference, but I didn't notice it. Like, I really didn't. And I really don't when I just look until I see pictures and I intentionally go back and look. You might think it's obvious, but to me, it's not. And it's probably, I don't know if it's body dysmorphia. I mean, I know I do have body dysmorphia, but I don't know if that's what it is or if it's just because I'm so used to seeing myself that I don't notice the difference. I don't know. I don't know which it is, but it's something. I just noticed that I have kept you guys for 5,000 years. I am like, because David's not home, so he's not like knocking on the door. He's not like, hey, can I go cut my hair? Because he usually asks, because he knows that you can hear it because the bathroom's right on the other wall. And he doesn't want me to like just be hearing it. And he's like, oh, he'll come in here. And then it reminds me like, hey, I think I need to go let you guys go because I've had you for 100 years. And oh, okay. So I did pictures of myself. I didn't even remember. This is before I started. This is when I was on Mounjaro for almost a month. Okay. So look how much hair I have. That's all I can focus on. This is like, I need to go back and do these. And I have that dress. I got to find that dress. But just looking at those pictures and then going back and seeing like other pictures, I guess, I'm just like, wow, okay. That is even just a difference in just my body, which I didn't notice before. And it's hard to notice in videos because I don't really film my body because it just doesn't fit in the frame. It's not that I'm like hiding it or anything. You guys know, I tell you all the time, I'm 300 flipping pounds. How do you hide a 300 pound body? Like I'm not hiding it. It's just, if I did my whole entire body in the video, you guys wouldn't even probably see me talking. And it's just like, whoa, okay. Like, whoa, hold on. Because I know I posted it at least when I did my surgery, because I was surprised that I was able to wear these sweats that were like only 1X. Okay. So this was 4 months ago. Like, I don't even know if I can find the other video anymore, but that is, to me, when I look at them like that, is such a difference. Like, whoa. But I have kept you guys way too long. It's already been 2.5 hours. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that. Harji, if you're still here, please send me an email. We will set plans in motion. I'm supposed to go back to work on Monday. But I was really, really, really trying, and my doctor wanted me to wait until I was able to get the epidural, but the epidural place still hasn't called me. It's been 2 weeks. So I don't know if I could keep waiting, but I don't know if I could sit for 8 hours without the patch. And then using the patch, then I won't be able to sleep by the end of the day. So you can only use one every 12 hours. And you have to have, no, wait, you could use one for 12 hours and then you have to have it off for 12 hours and then you could put another one on. So I don't know how that'll work, but I hope you guys have a great day. I'm so sorry for keeping you so long. But again, like always, I am so thankful that you guys are willing to spend the only thing in life that is equal, and that's your time. And that's just like, wow, you guys are willing to spend time with me. And you can't get that back. And that's so cool to me. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I want to give you your digital hugs. And I really, really hope you guys have an amazing day. If you guys want to have a specific topic next week, feel free to let me know. But Mia, I'm going to ask you, like I've been asking everybody, and I don't know, Harji, were you here when I was asking, who are you outside of being a mother, a daughter, a sister, an employee, a fat person? Who are you? I don't know who I am, and I'm trying to figure it out. And what sparked it for me was my mother going through empty nest syndrome, with my brother gone here and he's over here, working on starting his career. My mom is like, I don't have no kids in the house, and she's had kids in the house for 40 years. So, oh my God, my protein shake, hot water just exploded. That happens to me whenever I'm using hot water. First of all, never, ever, ever make my protein shakes hot, ever. I've learned that because they don't break up the way that they do when it's cold water, or room temp at least. So whenever I'm going to make it hot, I always do it in room temperature water, shake it up. Then I go and heat that's already mixed together. I'll heat that and then I'll remix it. But whenever I do that, you can feel the pressure building in your shaker when it's hot. And if you don't burp it, it will explode. That's happened to me. That's happened to me before. But I no longer do it hot because I realize that it'll stay grainy when I use hot water. But if I use room temp water and then shake that up, then heat it up, it's way better for me. That's how it works best for me. And I hope it works well for you. But I'm so sorry that happened because it's a mess. The only good thing is, hopefully, if it's a protein shake that is sugar-free, it won't be sticky, which is the only thing that is ever good whenever that happens to me, is like, okay, well, at least it won't be sticky. The other day, David was taking a 6-pack of zero sugar A&W root beer to the fridge. He was going to go put them away, which is weird because he never puts them in our big fridge. We have a dorm fridge in our bedroom, and we keep all our drinks, and I keep my medication in there. Well, my Mounjaro, because it's the only one that needs to be refrigerated. So we keep it over there. But he was taking it to our kitchen, and one of the sodas fell out of the ring and it exploded everywhere. And we were both like, what? And it was like the biggest mess. And I said, well, the good thing is that it is sugar-free, so it will not be sticky and it will not attract ants, because it was also under our fridge. And we were trying to get everything. And I was like, if we missed any, it'll dry up. But, if we missed anything, that's okay. I don't want to miss anything. But if we did, it doesn't have sugar, regular sugar, and ants are not attracted to that. So it won't cause a big disaster. But a couple days later, I went to go put some recycling, because we have a pantry in my kitchen, which we don't use as a pantry. We use it for our recycling. I have my recycling garbage cans in there, and we just throw them in there. And then we have a box full of bags, and we have things that doesn't matter if the temperatures change, because for some reason that pantry gets super hot in the summer, and I don't want to put food in there because it'll spoil the food. So that door is on the other side of the fridge, and I didn't look at it last time. I didn't notice, but it was splattered with the root beer. And I was like, oh my God. So I cleaned the whole door and everything, but I was like, see, good thing, because if it would have been regular soda or regular sugar, that we would have had so many ants because of that. But I also probably would have noticed it a lot sooner. So Mia, you missed it, but I was talking about the Naked Sundays. I'm loving this stuff, but still have not tried the tinted version. If you do end up trying it, let me know because I want to know all about it. But I adore you guys, and I will see you guys soon. Mia, we need to talk about the podcast idea because don't think I'm letting you off the hook about that because I'm not. So I'll text you in a few minutes, but I hope you are having a great day, and I will see you guys soon, okay? Bye.